the big trade that happened roughly an hour and a half before the game, and apparently that's when Anthony Duclair found out. So this came out about 5:30 local time, or a little bit before 6. The San Jose Sharks and the Tampa Bay Lightning consummated a trade where it has the Sharks acquiring defenseman Jack Thompson and a 2024 third-round pick. That's Tampa's third-round pick in this year's draft. Going to Tampa will be Anthony Duclair and a 7th-round pick in 2025. So who the heck is Jack Thompson? Well, if you went to the AHL All-Star game, you saw him there.
Yep.
He has, in 46 games, 5 goals, 27 assists for 32 points. Made his NHL debut about 2 months ago on January 6th with the Tampa Bay Lightning in Boston. He had about over 11 and a half minutes time on ice with 1 shot. 3rd round pick, 93rd overall in the 2020 draft. I think he was with Sudbury and the Sioux, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, he played here. Now, I've racked my brain. 21-22 season, I don't think I went to really that many games at all. So he's a guy, right, who I like. I like this pickup for the Sharks, not just because he's a former Greyhound. I'm not going to Kyle Dubas this thing. He's a guy who I think, he's one of those guys, though, that 2020 draft class is weird, right? Because a lot of those guys lost a year of development, basically. Mm-hmm. He was able to play over in Sweden. I can't remember what league he was playing in. So he got I think 18 games over in Sweden in the 2021 season, basically when the OHL didn't play.
Right.
And I think you look at the numbers, and I like the numbers. I think he's put up decent numbers. Look at the Sharks are completely barren of right shot defensemen. They just don't have them. And look, right shot defensemen usually come at a premium. They don't if you look at their prospect pool, I think it's improving, but I think defense is still their biggest area of concern. I mean, goaltending would be probably the biggest,
right,
if we're being honest here, but I think goaltending's nice if you can find one, but I get a little more concerned about defense because you can find a goalie. You could sign a goalie in free agency.
Sure.
That, it is nice. I mean, look, would it be nice for the Sharks to go find themselves a Shesterkin or a Sorokin or whatever? Sure. But, those guys don't grow on trees, unfortunately. So to me, I think defense is still a big area of concern for them. So anything they can do to bolster that, I think, is a good thing. Now, obviously, the Sharks have all the defensemen, so many that they have to play them at forward. So obviously he's going to go to the Barracuda, and that's fine. I think he'll be a nice addition there. I think the Barracuda can use all the fucking help they can get at this point. They are on a similar losing streak to the Sharks. I like this move. Look at, I know some, I think that if you look at the pick, it's a 3rd round pick. That's fine. I don't think Anthony Duclair was going to get you he wasn't getting you a 1st round pick. He probably wasn't getting you a 2nd. People have to remember Anthony Duclair has 16 goals this year. You're not exactly commanding anything. And
right,
you might have been able to, maybe you get a higher pick from another team. Right. But as far as Tampa goes, this is Tampa Bay's draft picks this coming spring. Tampa Bay will pick in the 5th round, the 6th round, and 3 times in the 7th. That is going to be their draft this year. There was nothing else that you were prying out of them this year. The Sharks got their best pick that they had left. I think it's a fair trade. I think that the Sharks did well. I think Mike Grier did really good in this one. I like the prospect. The pick's fine. I mean, again, you could make you can pick a guy in the 3rd round, or you can take a guy who's already seems to be on a decent trajectory, which I think that, that Jack Thompson is. I think he's already on a trajectory, right? So it's better that I think, he's 21 years old. He's going to be 22 coming up in March at the end of he's going to turn 22 this month. But again, I think the Sharks did well here. I didn't think this was going to be an overly like exciting trade deadline for the Sharks at all. I'm very skeptical anything better than this happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I think Anthony Duclair was probably their best trade chip. Like I don't think that Barabanov is going to get you a better thing than this, but we'll see. I mean, stranger things have happened. I think
True.
Barabanov's going to be kind of the way that they got him in the first place. It's going to be, you're going to trade a guy for a guy who probably needs a change of scenery and hope it works out for both players when they get to their new destination.
It's one of those ones where it's extra depth for Tampa to have Duclair. I mean, he's not going to be the lights out first liner, but I mean, let's be honest.
It's nice, like for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's a nice pickup. I think that Tampa's best days are behind it. I don't like this Tampa team doesn't scare me like it used to.
Right.
And I think that I I would love to be wrong because I love Anthony Duclair and him going to a better situation, making the playoffs. I would like to see, them. I'd like to see him do well there, but I'm not buying what the Tampa Bay Lightning are selling.
No, I think they're trying to do. They're trying to reach out like a couple more times, kind of like what the Sharks did. Trying to make little moves here and there to get some success in it.
Mm-hmm.
In those final years, I would think like maybe 2011-12, with the Winnick and Gagliardi trade, or the Yannick Hansen trade, where you try to get some more depth on your team, and this is it. I think it's a good move. I don't think it's a spectacular trade for either one, but to get a third round pick plus a right-handed defenseman prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And you're only giving up Duclair, who's going to be a UFA, and a 2025 seventh rounder. I mean, it has the tendency to be a great deal.
Oh no, the seventh rounder though. I mean,
oh my god,
I'm not even gonna do it.
Are you gonna go there?
I was going to, but you know what? I don't want to like completely derail the show again.
Oh my god.
People get mad at me enough.
You should have said that for the Dallas game if you're going to mention.
Fuck, you're right.
God. So overall, yeah. So the trade again, Duclair and a seventh rounder 2025 to Tampa in return for Jack Thompson. I would expect him to go to Kuda. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, he's Kuda bound for sure. Bishalk already said as much. And again, unless the Sharks move defensemen, which they have so many, they have to play them at forward. There's nowhere for a guy to come up on the blue line.
So there you go.